Hello everyone, my name is Professor Piotron and I will take you today to the world of vinyl science. I have a special guest, Maxime Jaffray, the world famous rapper, who will help me to answer a couple of your questions which I received in the last episode. Hi Max.
Hi Professor, I'm very happy to be here with you to answer those questions today. I hope that between your expertise in the lab and my expertise on the field, we can come up with decent answers.
The first question comes from Mr. Wow85 and he is asking, can I get rid of mottling? Max, are you familiar with the name mottling?
Yes, I believe those are the matte spots that can appear on top of the film before I do anything with it.
100% correct. But Max, you need to know there are two very popular situations when mottling appears, but to explain it the best to our viewers, we might need that roll.
I think I know one of them. So I believe this is the first reason. Roll standing heavy on a flat surface.
You're 100% right, Max. Because the reason of mottling is the pressure on the surface of the film. In this specific case, if you have a roll looking like this and here is the core, the weight of the roll is pushing down. So here is the pressure, which will create a narrow band, repeated all over the roll, and that's why after unrolling that roll, you can notice repeated mottling stripe.
So I guess that is why we recommend to store vinyl vertical or hanging.
Yes, especially the gloss rolls, because the mottling is far less visible on matte or satin rolls.
But that's the reason I know of, and you mentioned a second reason. What is it?
Yes, but to show it and explain the best, can you take that roll a little bit vertical?
Like so?
Yes. For sure you have seen a blotchy appearance on gloss films, especially when we are getting closer to the core.
Oh yes.
The reason is winding method. When we install the film on the core, it's sticked on the edge, so the pressure here on the beginning is the biggest, but as far you get away from the core, the pressure gets lower. That's why the mottling is far more visible closer to the core than far away from the core.
And in that case, it's more regular, not in the shape of stripes.
Exactly.
So, Professor, the questions from our audience was actually, can we get rid of mottling?
Yes, that's very easy. When the film is unrolled, the pressure is gone. Then few days of sunshine or a couple of minutes with the heat gun will remove mottling completely.
And I can testify of that. I've installed a couple jobs with mottling on it. After a couple days, it's always gone. And I believe that answers all questions.
Exactly. So let's maybe move to the next one. How can I know the film is outgassed? Max, what do you think?
That's an interesting one. I think we need some setup and comparison to show that.
Yes, let's bring some samples.
So, Professor, we're back here with two samples. One that was outgassed for a couple days, hanging, and this one printed 20 minutes ago.
Excellent, thank you, Max. But do you know what's the influence of solvent on the film if it's not outgassed?
Yes, I do. It makes the film much softer, and it makes the tack more aggressive as well.
You're 100% correct, Max. But let's show it to our audience. I'm gonna take my film, which is not outgassed, and I will try to stretch it without heat gun, and I would like you to do exactly the same with your outgassed piece. Oh, mine stretches very easily. I don't even have to use any power.
Mine is very stiff.
Okay, that confirms what we said. Let's check the tack level. Oh, that sticks very strong.
Looks like it sticks strongly. Let's test mine. Oh. Barely sticks.
So that confirms what you, Max, said. The tack level and the softness are completely different in these two samples.
Well, that was a very easy test.
Yes, and it doesn't require any special tools. You don't need outgassed film. You can use a white one unprinted. It will perform exactly the same.
So I believe that answers your question. A very little test to compare softness and tack level will give you your answer. Is my film outgassed or not? Do we have another question, Professor?
Yes, and it's actually a very interesting question coming from a salesperson. The person is asking, what's the difference between PPF and PU?
Tricky one.
Max, could you explain to our audience what PPF stands for?
PPF stands for paint protection film.
And what's unique about it?
As it says in the name, it protects the paint from scratches and there is a hydrophobic coating on top of it.
Do you know what it's made of?
No, I don't know.
But I do. PPF is multi-layered. PU stands for polyurethane, which is just one type of material. It is one of the layers of PPF, but hydrophobic and self-healing, they are actually coming from top coat.
So that answers your question. Polyurethane film, from my understanding, is not equal alone to PPF.
Yes.
And that brings us to the next question, because I do have a question from a friend while we talk about PPF. Usually self-healing is coming from the hot waters that we pour on top, but we see more and more advertising for PPFs that heal in room temperature. How does it work?
The best will be if I will show it to you. I'm gonna help myself with water. It's gonna simulate the top coat on PPF.
Okay.
As you can see, it is nice and flat. When you create a scratch, there's a line coming, but you already can see the water is closing that scratch. That's how the liquid works. The top coat, when it's hot, performs very similar. So when the top coat is hot, it's getting softer and closes around the scratches. But imagine that happening in the room temperature. There are some consequences.
I imagine the film would be a bit too soft and dust could be getting in.
Exactly. If you will drive out and the sun will be shining on a car, in the regular temperatures of 20, 30 Celsius, the dust could go inside the film and get trapped there. You will be not able to remove it.
So it feels safer to have control of when to trigger the self-healing.
I agree. That's why having a high temperature coming from the hot water or from a heat gun, actually hot water is even better due to the moisture. You can have a control of when you want to remove the scratches. So you can remove the scratches when it's needed, but don't allow the dust to get inside the film.
Okay, well, that's very interesting. So I guess today we answered questions from the audience, but I'll go back with some knowledge myself. Thank you, Professor.
Pleasure is mine, and thank you for your help.
Thank you for having me, and see you next time.
That's all for today. I hope you learned something. If you have any questions, feel free to write them in the comments, and see you soon.